Every seasoned grower has that moment when a plant looks sick but the soil looks fine, the watering schedule seems right, and the fertilizer routine hasn't changed. People will blame pests, weather, seed quality or watering habits. But the real culprit, quiet, invisible and absolutely unforgiving, is often sitting right beneath their feet, unaddressed and unchecked. For the first minute, here's the hook. The truth is that pH has ended more gardens, wrecked more agricultural experiments, and ruined more harvests than nearly any pest or disease. Civilizations that learned to control soil reaction thrived, while those that ignored it watched their fields turn barren. And today, most gardeners unknowingly repeat the same mistake. They fix symptoms instead of the cause. They throw fertilizer at a problem that has nothing to do with nutrient quantity and everything to do with nutrient availability. That simple misunderstanding, treating soil as a container rather than a chemical system, is what kills gardens silently year after year. With that foundation in place, let's get straight into what this mistake is, why it matters, and how you can correct it faster than most growers ever realize. The mistake begins when gardeners treat nutrients as if they exist independently from pH. The biggest misunderstanding about soil pH is believing it's just a number. People check it casually or skip the test entirely, then wonder why their plants refuse to absorb nutrients. pH controls nutrient availability, which means a soil can contain everything a plant needs, and the plant will still starve if the pH is off. This is why you see yellowing leaves even after fertilizing. It's not a nutrient shortage, it's nutrient lockout. During the mid-20th century, agricultural scientists studying Cold War food security found that nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium, all considered primary nutrients, become chemically unavailable when the soil is too acidic or too alkaline. The ions change their form, bind to other particles, or simply stop interacting with roots. This locked-out state can last years, and the gardener who doesn't test pH ends up feeding the soil repeatedly without realizing the plant can't access any of it. The actionable fix is simple. Test pH before adding anything. Even a basic home test kit gives enough information to determine whether your garden is starving chemically, not nutritionally. If the soil is too acidic, calcium carbonate or wood ash can raise it. If it's too alkaline, elemental sulfur or peat-based organic matter lowers it. But none of that matters until you know the baseline. The next issue arises when growers correct pH suddenly instead of gradually. A shocking number of gardens are damaged not by low or high pH itself, but by aggressive correction. People discover their soil is acidic and dump lime across the entire plot. Others see that their soil is alkaline and apply sulfur repeatedly in the same place. The result is chemical shock. Soil microbes dislike drastic pH swings, and these microbes are the very organisms responsible for breaking down organic matter, releasing nutrients, and protecting roots. The fastest and safest way to correct pH is slow and steady. Apply amendments in smaller controlled amounts over several weeks rather than attempting to fix the soil in one day. For example, if your soil needs lime, add a thin surface layer and water it in. Recheck in 2 weeks. Repeat until you reach the target range. If lowering pH, sprinkle sulfur lightly and again, give the soil time to adjust naturally. In small raised beds, this approach works remarkably well because the soil responds faster to gentle changes. In large fields, mixing organic matter with sulfur or lime distributes the material more naturally as microbes and earthworms work it downward. The principle remains the same. Gradual correction preserves biological life. Plants themselves can help correct and stabilize soil pH when used strategically. Farmers in ancient China, Rome and East Africa understood that some crops naturally influence soil chemistry. Certain plants acidify the soil slightly as they grow, while others leave alkaline residues behind. In the Cold War era, agronomists tested these observations scientifically and confirmed that carefully chosen plant species act as chemical balancers. If your soil runs alkaline, growing crops like potatoes, blueberries, strawberries and radishes helps shift the soil reaction downward because they favour and promote slightly acidic conditions. If your soil is too acidic, planting beans, peas, clover or brassicas helps nudge the pH back toward neutral. For gardeners who want a practical example, imagine your soil tests acidic at 5.5. Instead of dumping large amounts of lime, plant a rotation of legumes across the bed. As they grow, they deposit alkaline residues while fixing nitrogen biologically. Pair this with gentle lime applications and the soil stabilizes rapidly. Conversely, if your soil is 7.8, mixing in peat-based compost and planting acid-loving crops will help restore balance more predictably. The final and often overlooked mistake is allowing pH to drift without monitoring. Soil pH does not remain stable forever. Water quality, fertilizers, organic matter breakdown, rainfall patterns and even root exudates all influence it. This means a garden with perfect pH in spring can drift significantly by late summer, especially in regions with heavy rainfall or sandy soil. Most growers don't realize this because they test once, if they test at all, and assume the job is done. A much better approach is seasonal monitoring. Early season, mid-season and late season checks give you a clear pattern. If your soil drifts acidic every mid-season, then you know to add a small alkalizing amendment before that drift becomes severe. If your soil tends to rise toward alkalinity at the end of the season, you can plan a winter cover crop that leans acidic. A practical method for monitoring is to keep a simple notebook or digital record. Write down the readings each season, note what was growing and track any changes you made. After 1 year, you'll see trends that make your future decisions far more accurate. Your garden improves instantly once pH becomes a controlled variable, not a mystery. When pH is correct, nutrients flow freely, microbial life thrives, and plants respond quickly. You'll see more vibrant growth, stronger root systems, and higher yields. More importantly, you'll stop wasting money and time on fertilizers that were never the issue. Controlling pH is one of the most powerful tools any grower can use, and yet it's one of the most overlooked. If you found this guide valuable and want more historically grounded practical knowledge for your homestead or garden, make sure you subscribe to Husbandry, share this video and help our community grow with serious, reliable, no-nonsense information.